out of adversity comes opportunity, and I'm wondering if that was one of the major themes that is going to run throughout the Gold Bears and Traders Investment Show, which has been run at the QE2 today. And it's the brainchild of Tom Winnifrith. So Tom, it's a tough time for the commodity sector at the moment. So why did you think now was a good time to run an investment show?
Well, it's not just about commodities and mining. It's obviously there's the headline is the clue. Bears. We have short sellers from all over the world here. So for them, it's been quite a good time. For the commodities sector, it's pretty grim. I admit. On the websites that I run where I tip shares, we tipped a gold share for the first time and actually own shares in it, Petropavlovsk, about 2 months ago. There are opportunities because people think the sector is completely and utterly, and I'm told I can't swear, so completely and utterly in a bad place. People are writing off stocks. So Petropavlovsk, for instance, should be debt-free within 2 or 3 years. If it maintains its same enterprise value, that would imply that the shares should almost treble. I don't see there's too much risk in that. Obviously it's a gold mine, but it's a producing gold mine. It's got relatively low costs. If the gold price goes down by a little bit, it'll still be profitable. It'll just delay the debt repayment. If the gold price goes up, it will accelerate the debt repayment. So there are opportunities, but it's impossible to call the bottom of any cycle. So it could be we sit there and look very stupid for a year. But at some stage, the gold price will pick up. And actually, the company is robust even at current gold prices. And there are other companies here. I'm thinking off the top of my head here. Ariana Resources is funded to get into production. It's relatively low cost. If it gets in production, it's going to be generating cash even at current gold prices. People maybe aren't interested right now. Excuse me. They're not interested right now. But if you're a patient long-term investor, maybe now's the time to be making investment. That is kind of the way that I think about it. Who knows? I can't call the bottom. I'm not clever enough.
But your event has attracted a lot of the most intelligent brains within many, many, many sectors. Of course, there's some the short sellers and there's the private investors. Your event's been going for 5 hours. What's the chatter? What are you hearing? What are the ideas that are circulating around the show today?
I haven't heard all the sessions. I'm fascinated. The one I'm missing to talk to you, Mark Littlewood from the Institute of Economic Affairs, talking about how impoverished the nation's finances are. And it was a theme that Jim Mellon picked up. We do live in a very funny world where we have zero interest rates. In some cases, you're paying for the right to lend money to governments, which are run, if they're a private business, you'd be calling in the receiver. And we have that across the developed world. So the idea of funny money, QE, negative interest rates, government spending beyond their means, we have all of that as a recurring theme. I think this afternoon we move more onto the fraud stuff, which I think will be very interesting. Looking forward to Sam Antar, that presentation. It's actually a video. I flew to New York and interviewed him on Monday. He's the king of the fraudsters and he'll be brilliant. So there's a theme that there are opportunities. We Bears, we're on a great roll. We've had some real good high-profile kills over the past year, but there are some more to come. So that's one theme. The mining companies is interesting. You know, they're sitting here. Some of them have got very good stories, but it's a matter of disbelief. People will come up to them and say, "I know your shares are cheap. I know I should be buying a bit of gold mining companies. I just can't bring myself to do so." In a sense, that's a rather good sign. If everyone was here saying, "Yeah, I want to fill my boots on Monday," I'd rather panic about it. The reticence of the investors, I think, is quite a good sign. It encourages me. Maybe I should buy some more.
I mean, you mentioned a very critical word there. You said killing. Quite a few of us have made some good killings this year. 2015. What's the definition of the past 12 months? Is this the year when the baddies were all shook out?
No, there's plenty of baddies still left to go. Buy a kill, I mean, I refer to that when we go after a company, we look to expose them for fraud and we see the shares go to zero or the fraud is exposed. And we've obviously had triumphs. Quindell, those guys are going to go to prison. And I got thanked by the Financial Reporting Council for my work in helping them widen the scope of their inquiry to find other irregularities. The nice word, fraud, is the other. Globo is a company we've been after for 3 years. Bang, Gabriel Grego is speaking this afternoon. He wrote a report. We were the only website at Share Profits gutsy enough to run the report. The FT chickened out, although the snot gobbler McCrum claimed credit for it. They chickened out, we ran the report, and bang, within 48 hours it was all over. So we've exposed some high-profile frauds. We've seen some financial promotions unravel, but there are more out there. There's one of the things Sam Antar said off camera is, what is the oldest profession? What do you think the oldest profession is?
Prostitution.
Well, that was my answer. No, the oldest profession is fraud. That is to say, in the Garden of Eden, the snake went to Eve and said, eat an apple and you will have knowledge. Actually, she ate an apple and she got into a lot of trouble. The snake defrauded Eve. Fraud is the oldest profession. It will always be with us. I think when you have an era of loose money and low interest rates, that encourages a bit more fraud. And also when you have such pathetic regulations we do in this country, that encourages more fraud. Interest rates are going to go up, and then the Warren Buffett thing about when the tide goes out, you see who's swimming with no trunks. You're going to see some of either the frauds or the financial promotions come exposed. So 2016, I think, should be a good year for us as well.
Okay, so finally, you've got your trunks firmly on. What drives you? Is it fear and loathing? Are you an enforcer? What is it? What's your raison d'etre?
Fear and loathing. You mean I'm loathed by people on bulletin boards and they fear me? No, I don't know why I fear them. No. What drives me on? Well, I've been a journalist for 25 years. I had a business career. I was very open about this. It ended in tears 3 years ago. What I was always best at was nailing frauds. What is the point in trying to replicate something else? I went back to what I was best at. And I know that when the business I ran went down, people lost money. The person who lost most money was me. I was left with minus assets. If I can go out and stop other people losing money on businesses which go down not because they run into trouble, because they're frauds, then I'm paying something back, and actually I quite enjoy it. I don't enjoy when I get a lawyer's letter from Shillings in the post, but I've learned to live with it, and I quite enjoy the challenge. And it is more challenging unearthing a fraud than just saying shares in company X are cheap and they're going to go up by 20%. That's boring. The fun is digging and digging. And when you dig and go after a fraud, you get all sorts of things. You have ex-wives of people calling you up and saying, did you know? No, I didn't. Please tell me about it. And you have former employees, whistleblowers. You get things from all sorts of places. And that is sort of fun, and it keeps me going. It will for a while yet.
Tom Winnifrith, thank you very much for joining me, and I hope you find time to enjoy your event, the Gold, Bears and Traders Investment Show. Well done.
I'll do my best. Thank you.